Every season there was trophies coming in the cabinet, and like so the expectation levels you've got to get to is it ain't coming in just doing all right. You're coming in to enhance winning. It's pressure, and I think only the best players can live and breathe. And I used to always say this: you've got to feel comfortable in pressure situations. Yeah. When Alex Ferguson left, I used to think that I asked the players. Managers don't really do that much. Is he like? We're out there playing in 90 minutes. He ain't really, Fergie, he gets a great name in the media. And if he left, we'd be sweet still. Yeah. But the day he walked out, mate, the whole culture changed. We've all seen so many examples of players that have retired and either bankrupt or have got nothing going on, and become slobs and depression, divorce, etc. And I just thought, no, that's not for me. I want to have stuff in place. So I always used to say, like, when I retire, I want 3, 4, 5 things that are going to be avenues for me to go down to have interests. Yeah.
Keeping it moving, keeping it moving. What are we doing if we ain't moving? Hey, keeping it moving, keeping it groovy. Hey, just stepped off a plane, never hopped in a range, I hopped in a Uber. Straight to the stage, but I stopped at a break, big belly like Buddha. Metabolism slowing down, but the bars ain't. Go hard, but the flow so blasé. From the east to the west, no Kanye. Crowd went nuts when I stepped in the park. Moving, keeping it moving. What are we doing if we ain't moving? Hey.
Yes, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Broad Talks. As promised, we've come in with a big episode. It's me, Henry, here with Kieran, and none other than Premier League Hall of Fame nominee, Rio Ferdinand. 504 appearances, 189 clean sheets, 6 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, 81 caps for England, a Doctors of Letters, and regarded as one of England's greatest ever players, Dr. Rio Ferdinand. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. You alright?
Yeah, good.
I like the intro, man.
Bro, oh, 1 second. You're basically better off saying the GOAT. Just put the GOAT. I don't even do that intro. Just say the GOAT, bro. The GOAT's here.
I've got more honours here, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be spaffing all day if I'm going through all of them. It's ridiculous.
That's what we've done, isn't it?
Yeah, we had to get you on, man. We had to get you on. We've been waiting a long time for this, and Kieran was like, we've got to find the right time to do it. And we found the perfect opportunity on your channel. Mm-hmm. We've got a little announcement. We've got a show coming out which Kieran's hosting with Poet. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've got a show coming out called Ballers and Watches. It's on Rio's channel. Brothers, I'm looking forward to it, man.
No, I've seen the intro. The intro is nuts. So anybody who's waiting to see, like, you know what? It's like you could sit there and go, it's going to be a show about blingy watches and guys who've got loads of money can spend money on watches. It's not like that. It's got a little bit of that, because you want to see the watches, you want to see what's hot, what's not, etc. But it's also a bit educational, which I think is the difference maker, where it's showing you what watches are, the value, the growth, what you could invest in and whatnot. So
if you want to go and find that, it's on your channel, 5 with 5.
Come with it's called Vibe with 5 on the 5 YouTube channel. Come and find out what we do. The home of football. Let's go.
Yeah, we're making a nice little community, aren't we? With all the football and watches. Yeah. Just pure vibes.
And to be fair, the reason why we're here in your studio today is because I just finished filming with you guys on your show. Because usually we film in our studio, but today we couldn't do that.
Well, that's what we're going to get into. We literally just come off the back of the weekend of Man United losing to Everton and Arsenal losing to Brighton 2-1 after also losing the same week to Crystal Palace 3-0 in Monday Night Football. Let's get our thoughts on both of those. So, for those that don't know, me and Kieran are obviously Arsenal, Rio, main man, Man United. What are we thinking after last week?
Low, bro. It's a low. This is a low moment. Like, I don't know. I could always laugh at Arsenal fans for the last 10 years.
But we're laughing at you
as
well.
Now Arsenal fans are going, you can't talk because you're in the same boat as us. So that's where it's at the moment.
Who did you support when you was a youngster?
Didn't really support a team. I like players. Like John Barnes was my guy, so I watched a lot of Liverpool. Yeah. But John Barnes was like on my estate. Yeah. Everyone wanted to be John Barnes, and then for a little bit later, Ian Wright, Gaza, Paul Ince.
I think like the most of the black community would support Liverpool because of Barnes, right? A lot of my black friends from London, they support Liverpool, and I'm like, bro, why you support Liverpool? And they go Barnes.
There's one iconic picture where he kicks a banana.
Yeah.
And like my friend had it in his house, and that's like one of them things that was just always stuck with me as a kid. So I don't know. He was obviously a talented player, like bad player, but I don't know, man. When you see yourself in someone a little bit, he's somebody's black. People see him maybe differently and judge him differently. You see a bit of yourself and think, you know what, I could do that. If he's done that, the inspiration. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I was always like that. And then Wrighty come after that. And Wrighty was a bit more showy and a bit more like us.
Yeah, he's from the ends as well.
Yeah, he's like from like South London. So I used to think even more like, right, I could. And the maddest thing is, I ended up getting to know Wright, like you know Wright as well. And I ended up getting to know. He come on time for West Ham when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And bruv, he was picking me up at my house. Like, so someone who I used to look up to and think he was the guy, to turn up in my house in a Bentley. And I say to my friend, bruv, he's coming to my yard in a Bentley, taking me to training, watch this. And then Wright would just roll up and he'd drop me like in Crystal Palace or places like that when I'm coming home. And I get out of the car. I was happy to, even though I'm far from my house, I was happy to get out and look at the reaction of people seeing me get out of Ian Wright's car. And he would zoom off and I'd be gone. And people would be looking at me. This is before I was like a big player.
Yeah.
People would look at me like saying like,
Who are you?
who is this guy?
Yeah.
He must be a G. And I used to think, oh.
Who did you look up to when you was a youngster, like football wise? Who was your idol? Who you used to look up to? And think,
like Barnes, Maradona.
So never like a
centre back.
Never.
No, because I weren't a centre back as a kid.
Wasn't you?
I was a midfielder.
How did it all start? Where did you?
So when I played as a kid, I was a midfielder. I used to score goals. In my school team, I used to run the school team and score 5, 6, 7, 8 goals a game. So like in my Sunday team, hat-tricks and stuff like that. And so I was always looking at like Lothar Matthäus,
baller,
Gaza, Paul Ince, like midfielders, attackers. Like Maradona was the guy. He was my main guy. And then
I've seen that video of you, the famous one where everyone's going through their best players of all time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And he goes Maradona, and then I think someone else says
Anderson says Maradona.
and
Oh,
Cristiano
Ronaldo says himself. That's the mentality he has, though. He thinks he's better than
elite
Maradona.
mentality.
100%. You couldn't tell Cristiano that Maradona's better than him now. No chance.
No chance.
But it was like, so I was always a midfield attacking player. And then I went to West Ham, and then one of the coaches, Paul Heffer, I remember
Paul
him?
Heffer, wicked. I love him.
Coach. He's still there now.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul. I love Paul.
Yeah, so he was there, and he said, one week when a defender didn't turn up, can you go and play fullback? And centre back. And I was like, okay, for one. Then every week for the next like 5, 6 weeks, I was playing centre back, and I was like,
so Paul put you centre back.
yeah, and I was like, this is dry. And he was going, and he said to me one day, he said like, Rio, because you could see how every time I was named centre back, I used to go.
Yeah.
And I'd go and play, and he said to me, Rio, you got the best chance of making it as a professional footballer if you play centre back.
Wow.
When he said those words, my whole energy changed. Because I wanted to be a footballer.
Is that where you think, this was going to be my next question, where it all started for you as a footballer, when you made the move to centre back then? Or how did it all start? Were you in the academy at West Ham, or did you sign?
Yeah, I was in the academy, but I always thought I was going to make it, I don't know what level, just didn't know what level. And it's funny, I was with Nike for years, and they allowed me to do my own Air Force One, like an exclusive run that come out, like about 250 pairs. And in the inner sole and the inside, you take your shoe off and you couldn't take the inner sole out. Yeah. It had on it that what we used to sell on my estate with all my mates. If I die and I've played 1 minute of professional football, I'll die a happy man.
Sick.
But it didn't matter what level.
Yeah.
But that was in my trainer, my exclusive trainer for Nike that I had, because it meant that's what all that football meant to me.
Yeah.
1 minute. So I used to think as a young kid that I could do that as a midfielder. When I went centre back after a few months, I thought, no, I can make it properly, because I felt too comfortable.
When did you realise that you was probably one of the best defenders in the world? Did you as I always say, as a footballer, you never really in the moment. You always like thinking about the next game, so you never really take it in like raw. Like when you retired, did you actually think back and think, wow? Or when you was playing, did you feel like you was the best in the world?
When I was playing, I never felt that. I felt invincible for probably 2 or 3 years, like 06, 07, 08, something like that. I felt like I'd go onto the pitch and think that there's no forward I can't shut down. Yeah, that's how I used to think. Didn't matter who it was. In the tunnel, I'd think I'd still prepare for them like I'm a novice, and I prepare like I've got to be on it. I couldn't go into a game like lax.
Yeah, it wasn't arrogance, but it was confidence.
I was confident, but I could. And I used to think if I don't go into the game with the mentality that I'm a non-league player type, playing at this level, I'd get exposed.
Who's been your hardest opponent?
It's mad, like there's a couple of players.
I know who you're gonna say, but I'm gonna let you say it. Well, go on.
Raul.
Yeah. Movement, I bet. Crazy.
Movement, like you go into areas and say, especially at the times I played him, I was still a little bit young. Yeah. Just got to United, and the positions he'd take me into Bergkamp the same, they would go deep, and it would be, they're asking me the question as a defender, can you come out and mark me? Do you want to do that and leave a big space?
Yeah.
Or you're going to stay there, let me turn and then pass around you. And as a young kid, you want to go and get involved. You want to come out and run out and engage. And I used to run out, and then all of a sudden the big space is open. Someone's running, someone scores, and you're like, oh. And to the naked eye in the stadium, you don't look like the problem.
Yeah.
But in your heart of hearts, you know it's my fault. You know what I mean? So them two were up there. Ronaldo, R9, was just like, he let me know that there's another level or 2 or 3 or 4 to go before you can start considering yourself the guy. Because I went to the World Cup.
Yeah.
He done some movement on me. He didn't score, didn't do nothing yet. But the movement he done, I ran back to the halfway line, looking at him thinking,
humbled.
He's a Martian.
Yeah.
Different. It was mad.
Yeah, Ronaldo for me, R9. I always say it now.
R9
for me is the greatest player for me. Even though Messi and Ronaldo, Cristiano, top, got all the stats and that, but R9.
And the maddest thing is, right, he was playing there. He'd had about 4 operations on his knees by then already. So I was thinking, I dread to think what this guy would have probably done to me if he was proper fit. He scored a hat-trick at Old Trafford. And I always say it, Fabian Barthez he forgot his arms that day, right? But he still banged a hat-trick in.
Yeah, I remember I was there. I was in the stadium watching it as a youngster. And we all, when he came off,
round of applause.
The whole stadium stood up and clapped him off.
It's mad, and like no other player I've played against as that's happened to, right? But he just was different, man. And the other one is that no one would probably even think about Kevin Davis.
Really?
Hard to play against, man.
Yeah,
like
horrible.
Before the ball's even coming, he's grappling, scratching, like elbows in your ears and that, and like
horrible.
Just horrible to play against, like nasty. And he'd make it a difficult afternoon.
Yeah. 100%. I played against him before at Bolton. He's a horrible guy, isn't it? Horrible to play against.
Yeah.
When you left that big whole you was the highest record signing for, I think at the time, £30 million.
Both of them, both moves,
twice.
Twice,
bro.
The 2 times.
Bro, get that in. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
I need to let people know. You know what I mean?
But when you left Leeds and went to Man United, did you know straight away there's different caliber? Obviously, you played against Man United before, and you knew there was a massive club. But when you went to Man United and actually met Sir Alex Ferguson, did you realise, this is a completely different ball game?
I was shook when I met Sir Alex Ferguson. My legs was jelly, bro, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying to my mum, like, you don't look happy. I was signing that day with the white suit. Shout out the white suit, still got it.
John Travolta.
Yeah, bro. With the bleached blonde hair and that. But I signed, you're doing all the paperwork and that, and my mum was there and that. And I remember him saying to my mum, like, my mum told me after, like, is Rio all right? You don't look happy. My mum was like, no. Until the paperwork's all done and dusted and he gets the shirt on and plays, then you'll see like a relief and because I was just like, but he had me shook. I was nervous. Really? Yeah. Like,
do you think it was just an eagerness to sort of get in and sort of prove yourself straight away?
Yeah, because you say for instance, you break the British transfer record, the transfer for any defender in history. Like it's big stuff. I've done it at Leeds, but then doing it at Man United is then another like crazy. The world's media's there. But the even more pressure is walking into the changing room and all those players, the Beckhams, the Keanes, the Van Nistelrooys, the Nevilles, the Butts, the Scholes, etc. Veron, they're all looking at you to say, what is 30 mil?
Yeah.
What is the transfer? What's the record transfer for a defender in world football? What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
So the pressure when you walk in there in training, forget the match. I'm trying to impress my teammates. And gain that respect straight away. Yeah, and get the respect. And
that's what Man United need today. Like that kind of mentality. All these players come in with that big money. Like you got to be proving it to the team. As personally, I don't think it's there with that team.
No. Yeah, but the expectations are different. Don't forget, these men were winning every week. Yeah. Every season there was trophies that coming in the cabinet, and like so, the expectation levels that you've got to get to is it ain't coming in just doing all right. You're coming in to enhance winning.
Definitely.
Like so, it was like it was very different to now, but. It's pressure, and I think only the best players can live and breathe. And I used to always say this: you've got to feel comfortable in pressure situations.
Yeah.
If you can feel comfortable in pressure situations, you can deal with big stuff, and the best teams have that.
Yeah, you're right, totally. And your first season do you feel like it was a success straight away? You done well straight away?
It was mad. I was talking earlier to someone about this, and it was like we won the league my first year. And I'm there in the middle of the season thinking, shit, if we don't win it, and like I've just come, that means that I'm the reason we're not going to win. Like,
yeah.
So enough inner pressure. So we win the league, but after we won the league, I was still sitting there not completely happy.
Really?
Because I was like, I celebrated like I was the happiest man in the world. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. But do you feel like you didn't perform to?
But what I said and I felt is that if I didn't play that season, the team didn't really miss me in my eyes.
Wow.
Whereas every season after that, I know if I didn't play,
might have lost the league.
Might have lost something, yeah. Like when I got banned, we were top of the league when I got banned. The day I got banned in January.
Yeah.
We didn't win the league that year. And I reckon if I still played, we'd have won the league that year.
Who was your partner that season at the back?
I think Wes and Mikel Silvestri.
Was it them two?
Yeah.
Obviously, the pairing of you and Vidic is everyone knows about. It's iconic. I'd say it's probably more powerful than Bruce Pallister, and that's they're obviously major centre backs as well. Is he obviously been your best?
Yeah,
by far.
It's just like you was there then.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it didn't. So it wasn't something that just happened like that overnight. It wasn't like immediately we were like, oh,
completely different as well. Yeah. Completely different.
That was probably the best thing about us. He had attributes, and his strongest attributes were probably the attributes where I was probably weakest in my game, and vice versa. So we complemented each other, and after a bit of time, I just knew where he wanted me to be, and he knew where I needed him to be for me. So it just became a real partnership that. And one of the biggest things, you get a lot of things in football in teams, is that it's a lot of me. I want to be the best. Whereas I think both of us, we wanted to be the best, but overriding that, we wanted to be considered the best duo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't have been satisfied leaving Man United if I couldn't walk about feeling like I got to that.
I don't think that Man United ever replaced you and Vidic.
No, they haven't. It's hard.
It's hard.
But it's hard, but you don't try and replace like for like. And I think the great example is when Roy Keane left, we didn't try and replace Roy Keane. We've had Roy Keane, we brought Michael Carrick.
Yeah, true.
And he had a big impact on the squad over years. So it's difficult. And it's the bedrock of any team winning multiple titles especially is you need to have a solid foundation at the back. Goalkeeper, centre-halves have to be bang on. And obviously Man United ain't found that since yet.
No. So Alex Ferguson, do you think he took your game to a whole nother level, his impact on your career and you playing under him?
Yeah, 100%. Like you know, like when you go there, like you just want to impress him. Like you do anything to impress him. You do like half the things you do on a training pitch, you're hoping he sees.
Yeah.
You do something and you don't let people know, but you will have a little look sometimes, especially early days. Like, did my man see that?
Yeah.
It's like, and even if I'm coming as a record signing playing for England in World Cups, and I'm still feeling like that. But he's like, just his desire, the way he applied himself, you know the same. Like you get in every day, his car's there.
He's there, the first man there
first
for
man
anyone.
In the training ground, last man to leave most of the time. Like so, he's got that little basic element there. I can't go below that.
Yeah,
as a player, he's setting the standard so high.
Because people talk about leadership players setting the standard, but obviously it's got to come from the very top.
Listen, when Alex Ferguson left, I used to think that the players. Managers don't really do not much, is he? Like, but we're out there playing in 90 minutes. Fergie, he gets a great name in the media, but listen, if he left, we'd be sweet still.
Yeah.
But the day he walked out, mate, the whole culture changed.
Well, all you got to see is the squad which he won the league with in his last year.
Yeah.
Like, in comparison to the teams that win these days, it's crazy.
But he just was
his aura as well about him,
aura.
like
control the room. You loved him, but you was shit scared of him, bro. You were so scared of him. Ruthless, shook. It's crazy. I used to argue with him, sometimes. And then if I argued with anyone else, and I think I'm right, I'm not going back again to say, like, you know what, I could have done, I should have made, no, I'm right. So, like, that's it. Like, unless you come on board, I think I'm right. That's it. And I was quite, like, funny like that. But with him, I argued a few times, and I knew I was right, but out of respect, afterwards, I'd go to the next morning. Twice, especially, I'd done it where next morning I couldn't sleep. Went into his office the next day to apologise and say, listen, like, I maybe should have approached it differently or a different time. I understand that, blah, blah. And he used to just unload again, bruv, go nuts. And I used to think, bro, this guy's just
rather than diffuse it, he wouldn't take
he would just go again, like, but because he was so passionate and, like, he weren't giving up a yard or inch to no one because he's a leader, and he can't have anyone feeling like you got one over me now. Do you know what I mean? He had that mindset and mentality that spread through the team. Like we weren't like the way we were in that dressing room without him steering that ship.
Definitely. Obviously, I left way before you. But when Sir Alex Ferguson left, obviously you were still there. Was it when David Moyes came in? Was it a complete different ball game in there?
Yeah, but I think it's expected. Like, I think I felt sorry for David Moyes. If I look back now, at the time I was quite harsh and a harsh critic of David Moyes. But when you have time to now reflect, anyone replacing someone like that who's been there 25 plus years, set everything in stone for himself, to come in and replace that is hard. And one of the biggest mistakes, if you look back at it, and I'd love to hear David Moyes speak about this, was that he didn't keep on the coaches that was, or one of the coaches at least, that was there from the football. We didn't keep on Mick Phelan or Rene.
No.
And I think the manager would one piece of advice to him would have been to keep one of them two on there, to understand the culture, to understand the environment a little bit.
I'm surprised he didn't. Certainly didn't tell him.
That really.
I reckon Sir Alex would have told him that. But I just think David Moyes just thought, listen, I want my people in place, who people that I trust, which I understand. But I think retrospectively, I think he'd approach it differently. But as soon as he went, some of the decisions Fergie used to make on team selection would have us going.
Yeah, it's true.
Gibbo played against Bayern one time and scored in the first 30 seconds, I think it was.
He knows, doesn't he?
And it's like, and we're looking at each other before the game going, how's Gibbo playing?
And he goes
like in a big game like this, and then goes and scores, and you go, I get it now.
His tactics are always spot on. He knew how to pick the right players for the right team, the right moments.
And he knew how to speak to the right people at the right time. Do you know what I mean? He would get you on your own.
Just making me think of one game, 8-1 against Arsenal.
8-2, yeah. Slapped up Arsenal. Slapped them up.
That's the hardest game I've had to watch as an Arsenal fan ever.
Really?
But
Well, still to this day when it comes back on in like Premier League years, I'm watching it on Sky Sports, and I see that, I'm just like, I'm not watching that.
Is that when Ashley Young was on it?
Banged in too, yeah. But you know what he was like? He was a ruthless guy, like in terms of we'd go into change rooms. I remember we played Liverpool sometimes. He would be raw. This is the worst Liverpool team I've ever seen. If you don't win here, like it used to be, and he used to sit there, and that's pressure.
Yeah.
Right. If we don't win today, he's saying this is their worst team. You've never had a better opportunity to beat this team. You lot must be dry.
I feel like as well, compared to the team when we was playing and to the team now, when we lost like one game, it felt like World War III, bro. Honestly, the next day in training for the whole week, Fergie would be in a mood. Everyone would be like, "Oh, rah, just shook, innit?"
How do I approach the manager if I've got to chat to him after a defeat, or how am I seen around the training ground when he's about? I've got to have a serious mode on, or don't want to be too jokey because he might just fly off the handle, and it was also for like other players, and I don't know. It's just a different world now. Like the young players today, or the players today, they lose a game and they're straight on social media, like sorry, or a picture, or they're out and about living my best life type thing.
I think Gary Neville came out and said about it a few weeks ago when they lost to someone. Everyone, even the manager, everyone darted off and doing their own thing, going to shows and all that. I can't imagine doing that in our time. It would have been head down, bro. Just no one's gonna see me.
But it's different, isn't it? Like we there was times where I'm sure we lost games or drew games, and there might have been a gathering at someone's house.
Yeah, of course.
Gone out for something to eat, but because there weren't social media then, no one knows.
Yeah,
that's the difference. If you got to manage that. You got to understand the environment now and go, I don't really want to be seen to be doing X, Y, and Z after such a bad game or a bad performance. So you got to manage yourself a bit better. And I think some of the players they'll look back in years and go, you know what, I probably didn't manage myself well enough in those periods.
When you was coming towards the end of your career, did you always feel like you wanted to become a pundit, or did you think about being a manager?
Do you know what? Before I finished my career, I was setting stuff in place for the next phase of my life.
Yeah, I always thought like from the long time I always saw you, even though on the football side, I always thought like off the field you was always like a entrepreneurial guy. Where do you feel like you got that from? Is that embedded in you from your family? Where do you think you've been like that? You've always been like that. You've had. I remember you doing your music, the record label. I remember you've always been doing things off the pitch.
Do you know what? It come down to work ethic, and I learned that from my mum and dad. Yeah. My dad used to travel. Used to be working. We used to live in Peckham, and he used to go to Stoke Newington or even further North London, East London, and work from in these factories and whatnot, and come home and then take me to West London to go QPR when I was a kid to Hanger Lane, like mad distances, dropping my mates in Brixton, on the doing mad and that's a work ethic and sacrifice. My mum was the same. My mum was in the community with different families, different kids, etc., working hard, making sure the house and everything was fine for like when my dad got home, or for the kids, for me and Anton and that. So seeing that work ethic just became was embedded in
Second
me.
nature.
Yeah. So it was like working hard ain't graft to me.
Yeah, same. I'm like that.
We mentioned that in one of our previous podcasts. I asked Kieran when it was just us, and he said the exact same thing, that his parents were just grafting the whole time he was growing up, looking after him.
I think just our background.
The football schedule's hectic, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to make it as a footballer. So
I like hard work though, and I don't think success comes without working hard. You don't ever get anything where you go, "Oh, that was easy." Nothing sustainable or substantial.
Nothing worth having is easy. You know what I mean?
It's true, man. And like, I don't know, like. I just always used to think, I've seen so many examples, we've all seen so many examples of players that have retired and either bankrupt or have got nothing going on, and become slobs and depression, divorce, etc. And I just thought, no, that's not for me. I want to have stuff in place. So I always used to say, like, when I retire, I want 3, 4, 5 things that are going to be avenues for me to go down to have interests.
Yeah.
So like a management company, agency type thing, be involved in something like that, which we've got now.
Yeah.
And this where we are now type stuff, or my own foundation, or a clothing range, or property, or so that's all I set all those things up, and I had options then. I can go to media. So doing my online 5 magazine when I was still playing was an introduction for me into media and what it's like to be on this side talking and whatnot and being comfortable, so that if I do come out of football, all the big media companies will go, oh, why don't we use Rio, because I've seen him, he looks quite all right. And so that's what I always used to think.
Yeah. Obviously, you're punditry now for BT Sport. Do you feel like I don't know, you might not. When you watch Sky Sports and you watch BT, do you feel like we're better than them? Sky Sports are better.
Is there a rivalry?
I think it's only natural. I think it's only natural that you go, oh, like, well, we do that better than them, and they'll be saying, oh, we do that better than them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's like there will be. If you ask Gaz and Kara, they will be going, oh, we're better than them, or no, what they do over there is this. It's natural, man.
What made you go to BT Sport, not Sky Sports? Because I know, guaranteed, Sky Sports would have wanted you to be there, 100%. But I feel like you went BT Sport, but BT Sport not like a new thing.
BT was new at the time, and I just didn't want to be with a bunch.
Yeah,
I was never ever wanted. I've never wanted to be pigeonholed. I've never wanted to be like boxed in anywhere, and I just felt like it's different. You got these guys who I get on with and I like over at Sky. It's cool, that's fine. But there's a new offering over here that has got maybe potential to do big stuff as well, and maybe get on a level with them at some point, or maybe go past them at some point. Do I want to help push that one, or go for the easy route? I went for the more difficult, but something that appealed to me. And they were willing to give me a little bit more like creative control and stuff like that. So it felt right to me. And because they're BT, they were talking about being like ahead of the curve and involved in tech and whatnot as well. That was just a pull for me, man. Definitely.
Obviously, coming off football now, you've always been a massive watch guy, watch collector. From me, early age, when I was young, 20, I remember you always having the best watches and things like that. I
had some shit ones as well.
I know you did. I know we all did. We all had the Frank Muller diamonds and Jacobs and things like that. How did you get? What made you get into watches? Do you just love watches, or?
I just like them, man. Like everyone. Like when you have a nice watch on your arm, there's an extra spring in your step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. It was one of those things that I weren't really a jewelry man.
Yeah.
Like I see people with the big chains and all that stuff, and it just weren't. I weren't ever into the too flashy stuff. Like, I would rather someone say, right, you got a nice watch on, than, oh, right, look at your big chain and like your gold teeth and your diamonds, like grills and that.
It's more for the feeling for yourself wearing it.
Yeah, it's more about me. Like, I could care less what someone, and what I like, I don't care if no one likes it.
Yeah.
If I like it, like even my watch now, it's not a watch that everyone knows about, but
it's lovely.
It's like, it means something to me. And I like when something might be a bit different that not everyone's got.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so, and then I started collecting watches.
You had loads of watches.
Yeah,
I remember. I remember coming in your house in Manchester. I remember you had a big like roll thing. Just popped it up and it was just racks.
I was just buying. I was being stupid. Like, and I remember one time, I swear down, that's when it made me think about watches differently. And I said, a man come in, and I said, just value my watches. Yeah. And the value, what I paid compared to what they were worth, because of about probably 50% of the watches that I'd had dropped a lot. Yeah. Because they were worth it. And the person I was buying watches off at the time, I say to him, these are good value. Yeah, they'll hold. Yeah.
So do you think it's very important that you find someone you can really trust, really trust? Because I know it's easy to get a sell. I always say to me, I can sell so many watches to people. When people ask me for a certain watch, I always try and give advice. I always say, you know what, bro? I know you want this Hublot or whatever it is, or Frank Muller, but you're going to lose a lot of money, bro. And I always try and be honest and try and steer you in the right way. do you feel like when you was buying watches, these people, all they cared about was just now?
Yeah, just the transaction. A lot of them, like, and I listen. It's a shame, but footballers have always been taken for a ride. Whether it's property, financial advice, watches, it's jewelry, the same. Just taken advantage of because we're in a fast lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everything's quick decisions. I ain't got time. I've got to do this. I'm doing football. I've got to be here. Got to be there. Just make decisions quick.
No, you're right, totally. I remember when we was buying watches when I was young, I didn't even care about papers. I didn't even know about papers.
Papers? What?
I was like, yo, is that the watch? I just want to put it on my wrist. I didn't think about papers.
Yeah,
in
do
my
you want
head.
the box?
What's the whole
just send it. Send the box when you're ready.
But when you think about it now.
Yeah, it means something. You're losing value without the box and papers. Like, and it's like, so I just cut my whole thing down. I stopped buying watches for ages.
I remember.
And I was like, nah, because that was a bad taste in the mouth. It was a bad beat, bruv. And then I started again buying a few watches here, and I just kept the ones that meant something to me.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like even like I don't even keep watches with me. Like I put them in a safe,
vault. Yeah,
in a
leave
vault,
off site.
Yes, like somewhere, because like I don't know, like you just one obviously for security purposes, but it's like I've bought a lot of the watches for the next generation, like, and for my kids and stuff like that, and I might have fell out of love with the look of them, but I know they're worth
a few quid.
So I don't need them around me.
Well, that's why I think it's different. I'm sort of just guessing here, but when you were first buying them, it was more just for like personal wear and things like that. But now they really are looked at as investments.
Big.
And that's why no one's like keeping them on them anymore, because obviously they're such high value and they constantly go up.
You don't want to
chopped off these days.
Yeah,
bro.
you get exactly. You
know what? That's what I liked about you when you first started selling watches. You never come to me and try pushing yourself up on me. When you know I like watches, and you know we got a relationship going back to when we were young, really young, and it takes you back to the point you mentioned about people just want to sell just for a quick buck. Whereas like I think that's why I think you'll have a long time in the game because. And when I've asked you about watches, you've even said to me, "No, that's not really one you need to buy."
Yeah, as I said, I always try and be honest with people. I don't want to make a quick buck on someone. It's like it's weird because when I sell watches to people, I always think of myself. I always put myself in that position. I don't want to lose money. Yeah, I've lost money on watches, well, not for a long time, but you know what I'm saying. So I always try and help people make money, even though I can't get it right 100%. I can't dictate the market. But I always try and make sure all our clients are happy. And it's down to you as well. If I tell you a watch is Rio, you might be adamant, I want to buy that watch. And I'll say, okay, cool. Because you got to love the watch you wear. You have to love what you wear. But I would give advice and say, okay, cool, Rio, you love it, buy it. But I'm being honest with you, you might lose 50% of it. And that's your decision then. At least you know. But if I sell you a watch, say, bro, yeah, it's cool. Even though it's crap, you feel dumb by there.
Yeah, and I don't know how these guys look in the mirror.
100%.
Like, and then chat to you again. Because I'd always be thinking like, right, I just sold my man some hooky watch, but he's coming back, but I'll just carry on like nothing's happened. I just don't know how people work like that, but there's too many of them.
It's just not going to happen, is it? You're not going to get return customers if
you won't.
If you're treating people like that.
You'll lose customers for sure.
So in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run.
Because short term, you still keep them.
Yeah.
Until they wise up one day like I did.
Yeah.
Until they do it twice, really. Obviously, once can be a mistake.
Because I remember my own experience, I bought a watch of someone, I'm not going to name him.
Same person up.
Yeah. I'm not going to name him. I bought a watch and he told me my papers were coming. And I was like, okay, cool, they're coming. And when they came, eventually, they wasn't the original papers. They were like
warranty or something.
They were like replicas.
Oh really?
But it's cool. But I still would have bought the watch if he told me it. But he never told me.
Yeah.
But I feel like things like that.
Straight up, man.
Just be straight honest. Like if he told me there's no papers, I'll say cool. It's my decision to buy the watch. Do you know what I'm saying? I still might have done that, but I feel like some grey marketers can be very, very sharky.
Vague.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you could go back, this is a little question, moving on. If you could go back and change one thing investment-wise, it could be watches, it could be anything. Like, is there anything that sticks out to you?
What would you do better? Like, even though you
property.
Yeah.
I sold enough property like over the years, and I was thinking to myself, like, if I just kept it, but because I was getting good profits at the time, and I bought loads of property off plan.
Yeah.
So you're already getting a discount before you started, and you was getting 2 years worth of rent free. And then once they were built and rented for 2 years, and then all of a sudden I see the growth, and I used to think, I'll take that growth and take it elsewhere and use it elsewhere. And I was doing it, and I'm thinking that I look back now and I think, if I just held them. But you're young, and I was happy to say I've made a quick buck here and I've made a profit on that, and it was like just that wheeler dealer vibe in me was like just it was there, man, rolling, and it was like a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But even watches, man, like there's watches that I see out there today, and I'm seeing them going for mad dough that I had, and I've traded. Just had a trade up to get that one. I like that one now, and because I didn't know the market, didn't know the game. I don't know the game like you guys know, but I was just like, but I weren't given maybe the right advice, or I weren't ready to listen. At the point,
Really,
that's a big thing. And I was probably like, you're probably best holding that one. Yeah, it's all right. And then you look back and you think, rah, man, I should have just kept that.
Yeah,
I think property is a big thing. I've always mentioned it. That I've always been into property.
Yeah, I remember that always.
And I've always been a holder of property, and I still have most of the stuff. And as you said, if you would have held on to it, but it's life, isn't it? You live and learn. You live and learn. You live and learn.
You've made some other decisions that have turned out well, like other investments and things.
I'm sure you don't think that he's just gone bang. You made money anyway.
Lucky.
You know what I'm saying?
So we touched on it earlier. 5 magazine that's slowly now transitioned into a channel on YouTube. Let's talk about that. Obviously, it's every week. It's really consistent now with Stephen Hauser and Joel Bayer. What's it like working with those guys? What's it like? You'll now have the freedom to sort of be a pundit without any on your own platform, basically. And every week you're just talking about the football more honestly, I'd say, there than on TV. Yeah,
you got more freedom. Like there's sometimes there's like a narrative and the way things are going, and you don't get a lot of time. That's the difference.
Yeah.
On live TV, the time is not the same. You get so much more time. Also, by the way, on Vibe with 5, it goes out on a Monday. So we've had all weekend to digest what's gone on. Come in, you're prepared, and you go. Do you know what I mean? So it's
on TV sometimes it might be a bit emotional, especially after
and it's just reactive, quick bang.
Yeah,
so you never get. Sometimes you try to get as close as to really what you feel, but it's hard. You've not had time to kind of digest and think about it. But we started the magazine. It's like the first digital online magazine. Yeah, the first interview we done. You know, it was with 50 Cent.
Really?
Yeah, 50 Cent. He come to England, and I knew. Remember his DJ.
DJ. What's his name?
Addy's brother. Big Addy, his brother.
What's his DJ's name?
No, not Who Kid.
No, that's what I was thinking.
No, not Who Kid. He's an English guy. He's gonna kill me if I don't say his name.
Okay, cool.
But he's what's his name? Anyway, so yeah, he just hooked me up.
Yeah.
Top guy. He used to run a shop in London. We used to go to buying clothes and that, and he used to do security there. He ended up being friends with 50. He come over, done the first interview. And once I got 50, we was blowing massive then, like one of the biggest on the planet at the time. We got him to do the front cover, done an interview in Mayfair Hotel, and then I ended up getting like LeBron, Roger Federer the day after he won Wimbledon.
That's amazing. These are just goats after goats.
Yeah, Drake before he blew.
Wow.
Like I heard a Drake mixtape.
Yeah.
Then heard he was in London, in Manchester. He come into the training ground at Carrot and done an interview. Bang, kitted out in Man United gear.
Yeah,
like bare people.
I've seen it. I've seen
the pictures of him in Man United gear all the time. But then he's had pictures of
Chelsea.
The Drake curse. The Drake curse.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't get the curse, did you, mate? Man United didn't get the curse.
But like, so we had all P Diddy like when he was flying as well. Like, so we had all these wicked like American A-listers, and then loads of other. So it's fashion, football, and music, which is lifestyle culture, which I was into.
Yeah.
Put it in a magazine, digital online magazine, done really well, got quite a few awards. And then obviously it evolved into YouTube and stuff like that. But the problem with YouTube at the beginning, when we launched it, I was still playing.
Yeah. It's
hard to do content while you're playing and talking about stuff and talking about people and players. So it kind of stagnated a little bit. And then once I retired, after a couple of years, I was seeing what I wanted to do. Then I finally went, you know what?
This is it.
Vibe with 5, let's go. And we started doing it properly the last like 18 months probably. Like,
I was chatting to your guy, he was saying it now, in the last, you said 18 months, you've just gone to a whole nother level.
Yeah, like the production, the studio we built out here, like the facility, then we got probably another studio we're going to build out, and doing various forms of long, medium, short form content, documentaries. So it's like, yeah, man, this is what I'm happy doing. I like this. I like media. This? Yeah, this is like, I love it.
What's it like having an argument with Joe each week about Arsenal?
Yeah, he's mad Arsenal, isn't it? Like, it's funny, but he's like a lot of Arsenal fans. They're blinkered fans. Like, the Arsenal fans especially, like, see it just through the Arsenal lens. And
that's you. That's me. And he's the realist.
Yeah, I'm the realist.
He's the realist. He's messaged me just like when the game was on, it would just message me one word, shit. And I'm just like, no, it's a project. It's a project. He's like, we're shit.
But that's the thing about football. We've all got different opinions, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
why we love it. And that's why with the 5 channel on YouTube, is like, we want to be like everything to football outside of 90 minutes.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like the 90 minutes is sewn up, BT, Sky, etc. Outside of that, we want to own that.
Going forward for you, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? I know you're happy, but where do you want to see Vibe? Where do you want to be you? What do you want to be doing? What do you see yourself?
Yeah, I want to see the 5 channel as the bedrock of football outside the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
If you've got a story to tell, if you've got something to break through football, this is the channel you come, the media company you come to and do it. It's a safe place for players to speak and speak their truth and know that they're going to be able to have an element of control and ain't going to be sensationalized. And that trust that you can have here.
Obviously, you have a massive agency as well.
Yeah,
some people might not know about that.
Yeah. So the football agency that we got here, it's in the same building actually. We've got like about 90 players and managers, players that have retired who are in the media now.
Yeah.
So we do like the football and the commercial side of things. Just building that out, and I think like we're probably the fastest growing football agency in the country right now. You've got like a couple of the main players who've been here for like 30 years. Yeah. But underneath that, we're the ones that are coming up on the rails quick.
Are you always like looking for new talent? All your agents?
Yeah, like scouting. So like I saw you when you were young, innit?
Yeah.
I've always been interested in the younger players.
Yeah.
Always. Like it's not like because I've got a company now.
I've
always took an interest. If the young players are coming through Welbeck, Cleverly, etc., I was always with them. Ravel Morrison.
Yeah, you've always been helping in our ear, trying to help us.
Yeah, I've always liked it. And it wasn't to gain anything. It's just that I had a genuine interest. I see young kids like me. I know the path you're going. I want to help you if I can. So like...
I feel like you have an advantage in that sense, your agency. Yeah. Because obviously you've been there, you've done it. A lot of these agents, all they think about is the money. I feel like your agency is about the growth as a person. You know what I mean?
We want to help build men or women, footballers. Like we don't want to just take... Like I've seen far too many agents just take off players, and then as soon as they hit a bad bump in the road, they're gone. Or the player's career takes a nosedive, they're gone. It don't mean nothing to me. I've got a next new man on the roster who's more important because he can get more money out of him. We've got players here that have been with the company 10 years who've been playing and are now in the next phase of their life. We're supporting them still and helping in their next careers, and that's the relationship that I want to build from a 16, 17 or 17-year-old kid all the way through to my age. Like that is the dream. So we've got that culture here. It's like a family. You come in here, you see it's like a family in there, people buzzing around. But again, like if I'm a parent, and I am obviously with my kids, I want my kid to be with the person I can trust the most. I know is going to go in that meeting room and be willing to fall out with that club for the benefit of my kid. They can't look at no one like me who's going to do that. I don't think. I think I'm best placed, me and my company, to do that because we have integrity, we have that reputation, we have an image to protect as well for ourselves, meaning that your kid's going to get the best treatment. Listen, and you don't get everything right. I'm not sitting there saying we're perfect. Like you guys, you ain't going to get every decision you make right, but the heartbeat of it is we want to. That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man. Bro, it's been...
I've got one more thing to bring up.
Go on then.
Kieran's 30th party.
Oh, God.
Cheeky little rap.
Mad.
Gets leaked.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is, my birthday was on the day. Was you and Jonathan Ross?
Yeah.
Before you came from Jonathan Ross.
I come with my mum.
Yeah.
My mum comes to Jonathan Ross and she come to the party.
Come to the party. I was like, I'll come to the party, bro. He was like, yeah, I'll try and make it there. I'm doing Jonathan Ross.
Make it.
Then he turned up, bruv. Go on, I don't want to. I'll let you explain the party, bro.
No, it was a bad party.
It was a sick party, though, wasn't it?
Who was there? Like
we had Skepta. We had all boy better know.
Yeah,
we had Heartless.
I'm pretty sure it was Skepta's Instagram, which is
because Skepta put it out there, innit?
Yeah.
But I don't know why he put it.
I was pissed.
Yeah,
what are you doing, man?
You were at QPR at the time. I think.
He's at QPR at the time. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
what did you say happened to you,
bruv? After that, bruv, it got in the papers. I didn't play again for like 6 weeks.
No way.
Paul Lambert, bruv. I don't know.
At Villa.
Yeah, Villa. Bruv, I don't know what he was pissed off.
He missed out on the invitation because he looked so banging. The party was.
I didn't play again for a little while, you know.
I was on the mic with
General Levy.
Incredible. Oh, mate, unbelievable.
Trust me, we're gonna get the video.
Get the video.
Let them all watch it.
You know, that was one of the last proper parties I went with my mum.
Was it?
Like proper vibes. Like got down and it was mad. So yeah, man, wicked party.
Yeah, Kieran's always said he chucks a good party.
I do chuck a good party. I'm gonna have another party probably
When?
next birthday.
What launch?
Nah.
Late launch.
We should do a party for Broad Talks or
Like
Broadwalk.
or relaunch of Broadwalk.
But my actual birthday, there's just vibes, isn't it? It's all the man them from the ends, all the friends.
Yeah, me.
You'll be coming to the new parties.
Yeah,
You'll be invited.
I'll fit on with everyone from the
Can
end.
you move? Have you got rhythm?
Oh, I got me.
Has he got rhythm?
Nah. It's got 2 left feet, mate. It's got 2 left feet, bro. No, but listen,
two-step it.
Wicked, bro. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I'll be on again. Don't worry.
Definitely.
If I'm invited.
Yeah, so guys, we've got Ballers and Watches together, so make sure to check that out on Rio's channel. Very exciting. We're going to play the trailer for you now. Don't forget to like, subscribe on Rio's channel as well.
Also here.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share our video. Let's get it going. We're looking at 500 subscribers coming up soon, so guys, please help us, please.
Yeah, please.
And have a good week.
Aye, ballers and watches. Might kick off the door like I hit it top bins. No need for a locksmith. You might see me with the RM, with the rollie. You wanna know how I got this? See, I was on a back road, now I'm on a Broadwalk. They couldn't stop this. Man, there was ballers and watches.